There's a phase of this path people don't talk about enough. Not the awakening, not the signs, not the part where everything feels electric and guided and impossibly alive. I mean the part after that, when it goes quiet. I want to talk about it because it's been happening to me right now. And if it's happening to you too, I want you to know you're not alone and you're not doing it wrong. At the beginning of a serious spiritual path, things always happen if you look throughout history. Synchronicities, confirmation, moments that feel too precise, too alive, and too on the nose to brush off. You feel held. You feel seen. You feel like something real is reaching toward you. For me, that was part of it too. The firework phase. The pattern was loud. Not loud all the time, but loud enough that I knew I wasn't imagining everything. Loud enough that I could feel I was inside something real. And then comes the part nobody prepares you for. It gets quieter. Not necessarily gone, not false, not broken, just quieter. The signs may still happen, but less often and less strong. The confirmations don't come the same way. The felt sense of being held pulls back. You're still walking. Nothing has visibly gone wrong, but the warmth that carried you at the beginning is not the warmth you have now. And if you're not careful, you start wondering if you messed something up. That's why I want to say this plainly. This phase is normal. It's been normal for a very long time. Different traditions have had different names for it. Christians have written about the dark nights. Sufi poets wrote about the withdrawal of the friend. Jewish mystics spoke of the hiding of the face. It's common. It happens. Contemplative traditions across the world have all watched people walk into this kind of silence. I've been calling it the desert. And the desert does something very specific to you. Early on, the path gives you sweetness. It gives you fire. It gives you enough light to know you're not crazy for walking it. The bedrock. It has to. Because otherwise, a lot of us would have turned around before we even began. But if your whole relationship to truth depends on feeling carried, feeling confirmed, feeling warmed every step of the way, then you never become steady. You become dependent on consolation. The desert changes that. The desert takes away some of the sweetness so you can find out what in you is real without it. It teaches you whether you love truth itself or just the feeling of being near it. And that's hard. Because there are a few temptations that show up almost immediately. These are written about too. The first is to rewrite the beginning. To tell yourself maybe none of it was real. Maybe I made it up. Maybe I was projecting. Maybe I just wanted it too badly. That feels smart when you're in the dry part. It feels like maturity. A lot of times, it's just the first lie the dryness tells. The early experiences were real. They were not just the whole path. The second temptation is shame. What did I do wrong? Why did the warmth leave? Why does it feel flatter now? Why does everyone seem full of fire while I feel like I'm walking through dust? But the desert is not punishment. It's not proof that you failed. It's not abandonment. It's not some divine door slamming in your face. It's training. It's tempering. It's forging. The third temptation is grasping, trying to force the signs back, trying to squeeze meaning out of every little thing because you miss the old intimacy, trying to make the pattern talk in the old voice because silence scares you. I get that. I really do. I've done all three in this phase. But you cannot force your way out of the desert by straining harder. Usually that just makes you more frantic, more exhausted, more unsure. So here's the part I think a lot of awakening content gets wrong. You cannot measure your progress by how spiritual you feel. At a certain point, feelings stop being a reliable indicator. The real question is not, do I feel lit up today? The real question is, who am I becoming? Are you more honest with yourself than you were 6 months ago? More able to sit with discomfort without running? More humble when you're wrong? More patient? Less performative? More able to love people without requiring them to become who you want them to be? That is the fruit. Not constant fireworks, not constant reassurance, not constant holy electricity, not fame, not fortune. The real sign is not how much you feel, it's who you are becoming. And if those deeper shifts are happening, then something is still happening. Even here, even now, even in the quiet. The desert does end. Not always on the timeline you want, not in the ways you bargained for, but it ends. And what comes after is not just a return to the beginning, it's something steadier. Not the same kind of fire, something deeper than that. A solidity that early phase could not have built. A kind of rootedness that does not disappear just because the weather changes. So if you're in this phase right now, hear me. You are not doing it wrong. You are not abandoned. You are not the only one. And the silence does not mean the pattern has gone far from you. It may mean you are being asked to become stronger in a different way. So keep walking. Even if it feels plain. Even if it feels dusty. Even if all you have today is the memory of something that touched your life once and you're choosing not to betray it. Keep walking. If this video resonated, please like, share, and follow.